372 in the 372 Plaza.
Desert Stone and Tile sets the tone and style with 32 years experience. Ask us about our foreign and domestic tile, oak cork and bamboo flooring, carpet and custom cabinets, and all setting materials, wholesale and retail prices. Let us design that special gift, including tile trivets, marble and granite cutting boards, plus one-of-a-kind gift certificates. Desert Stone and Tile, 1,500 square feet of designer packages, including Southwest motifs. 835 South Linda, across from Camps Propane, 751-8006.
Friday night, getting very close to the end here. Playoffs right here on Saturday and Sunday, the first two rounds, wild card rounds. Of course, the bowls are in full swing. And first thing we want to talk about is some of these bowl games we got. Had a couple of high-scoring games today, a few games we've played.
Yeah.
That they've played, there's really been no scoring at all.
Yeah, it should have been high scoring, yeah. But no scoring at all.
Well, tonight's game, we left it was halftime. We had Texas 21 and Oregon 14. That looks like a game that's probably going to go over the total.
That's the only one today.
Yeah, the only one today. Well, looking at the games we got coming up this weekend, the best of the best are coming up this weekend for bowl games. By the way, I didn't introduce him. That's my brother, Michael Foley. He's been on here many times. Of course, many of you know him by the nickname The Professional.
Yeah.
Michael came out here from San Francisco for the holidays. Was here a couple weeks, so he's here again through the first of the year. The guys back in Frisco gave him the nickname The Professional. He hangs out at this bar before we get to these bowl games. He hangs out at this bar named Teeters.
Teeters, yeah. That's
Teeters is this bar that they have in Vallejo, right?
Yep, Vallejo, California. It's you know, when I went there, I was looking for a place where I can actually go have that football atmosphere. You know, everybody's there rooting for their teams.
Yeah.
That's the place to go. It's a great place to go have fun.
Okay, he's told me all about his friends Mac that go there, and the owner of the bar is Billy Teeter. I just want Billy to know, anybody that goes and mentions that they heard Teeters in Pahrump, Nevada, they want a free round of drinks, Billy. So this one's on you, pal.
That's right, Billy.
Okay, now to the football games. First game we want to talk about, the Alamo Bowl, Saturday, December 30th. We got the Northwestern Wildcats and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Northwestern, of course, the 19th ranked team in the country. Nebraska ranked number 8. Northwestern really surprising this year with an 8-3 record, and Nebraska 9-2. But as you know, Nebraska goes with the quarterback.
Yeah, Eric Crouch. He's a tough one to handle. I think Nebraska, they'd rather be playing in a different bowl, of course. Yeah. But at Northwestern, what a team they have this year. You know, I think they're going to pull a surprise tomorrow night. I like the 14.5 with that game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if this game didn't have Nebraska's name on it, it wouldn't be a 14.5 point, because their talent level really doesn't deem them a 14.5 point favorite in this game.
I don't think so, not at all.
I mean, they could win the game by 20. They could.
Yeah, but you know, really on paper, I think they're really, at best, the true line should be maybe 7.
Yeah, maybe 7.5, a little bit over the hook.
That's what I think.
Next game we want to talk about, Monday, January 1st, New Year's Day. The big games are coming. Of course, the Cotton Bowl, always a great game. First game in the morning, 8 o'clock. Tennessee and Kansas State. Tennessee ranked 21st in the country. Kansas State ranked number 9. Kansas State, of course, has 10 wins and 3 losses. First time they've had a 10-win, 3-loss season in their history.
Yeah.
And Tennessee coming in 8-3. Kansas State opened 4.5. The line's down to 3.5. This is going to be a tough game. Kansas State's defense is going to get a test by a Tennessee team that seems to have gotten better each week.
Yeah, they might have gotten better each week, but in the big games, Tennessee really wasn't there this year. I'm looking for K-State to put the clamps on them. I like K-State in this game.
Yeah, I like K-State myself. Like I said, that line went down from 4.5 to 3.5, but Kansas State, the way they blitz, I think this young quarterback for Tennessee is going to have lots of problems. The phone number here is 751-5786, 751-5786. I got a trivia question for you. If you want to win a couple of Miller Lite T-shirts and a Miller Lite hat. We were talking earlier today about the bowl situation, and if Miami wins, and also if Oklahoma wins, you got a chance to have 2 national champions.
That hasn't been done in a while, huh?
No, it hasn't been done in a while, and the last time it happened, I think it was about 10 years ago. If you can name the 2 teams involved in the co-national championship and also the 2 coaches of the teams, we'll give you both the T-shirts and the hat. If you can only name the teams, we'll throw just the T-shirts. So if you name both the coaches and the teams, we'll give you the hats and the T-shirts. 751-5786 for the phone calls. The Outback Bowl, South Carolina and Ohio State. South Carolina coming in with a 7-4 record. Ohio State is 8-3. South Carolina started out red hot.
Yeah, they did. Lou Holtz, a big turnaround for that program. Yeah. Me being a Notre Dame fan, I couldn't wait to see him leave personally. But surprisingly, I'm shocked he's doing that good with South Carolina, considering what the team they had the last 4 years.
Yeah, Holtz has been a coach that's always taken over a team, has made him good real fast.
Yeah, he's known for getting in and turning a program around.
Yeah, he did that with the Irish, did it with Nebraska, or excuse me, Arkansas. And the only problems, of course, is he had was in the pro football ranks when he quit on the Jets about 30 years ago. But this is a tough game here. Ohio State opened 5.5. They went to 6.5.
We got a caller?
Yeah, we'll be right with the caller.
Okay.
And right now, Ohio State up to 6.5. Total's 42.5 in this game. South Carolina's running back suspended, and I want to get to that, but. What about the situations here in college football with all these suspensions of these players between between the end of the regular season and these bowl games? Man, there's like 9 guys we're going to talk about that are, not going to be playing this weekend because of suspensions or academic ineligibility. They didn't finish a course. I mean, Mississippi State misses Smoot, their best player. Florida's best defensive player. Florida State's going to miss Minnis, their leading receiver.
Yeah, it's like
wow.
And same thing with Florida State every year with one of the receivers. If he's not getting clothes for free, he's doing something else.
Yeah. Okay, we got a caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Hey, I just got one thing to say about the Rams and the Saints.
Yeah.
Put your money on the Rams.
Wow.
I'm telling you, they're healthy. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Michael.
They're healthy. They're going in full steam right now.
Yeah, I think they hit their niche with they got Warner back. He should be okay from that concussion. I look for them to really roll it up against the Saints.
Well, they just beat New Orleans in New Orleans. They're coming back again, the same situation, same scenario, and they're going to, load up with everything.
Well, I agree, caller. Yeah. I definitely agree with you on that. I think they're going to win by 10 or more. Personally, that's what I think.
Well, what are they? 3.5, 5?
No, they're up to 5.5 now.
Yeah, 5.5.
Yeah. We'll get to that game when we get to the pros. We'll definitely remember the phone call and get to that answer for you.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Okay, back to the end of the discussion with the Outback Bowl. Ohio State 6.5, total 42.5. I think Ohio State, another team's gotten better as the year has went on, and South Carolina finishing with 4 losses in their last 6 games. I kind of like Ohio State in this game.
Yeah, well, that's a tough game to call right there. You got 2 good coaches right there. That's they're going to have good game plans going in this game. I'm favored. Me personally, I like South Carolina in this game.
Yep, there's one on each side.
Because Cooper just has a knack to not win the bowl games.
Yeah, well, he's not playing in this one, thank God. Next game is the Gator Bowl. Clemson, number 13 in the country, against Virginia Tech, number 5. Michael Vick, earlier in the day today, has said that he's considering going pro. He heard he's going to be possibly the number 1 pick in the draft. He better start worrying about Clemson first. Virginia Tech coming in a 6.5-point favorite, a 10-1 record. Clemson coming in 9-2. Of course, one of those losses to Florida State. It ought to be a tough game. How do you see it?
I like Clemson straight up on that game.
Yeah.
And I know there's somebody up in the Bay Area that just every week I keep hearing how great Michael Vick is. Mm-hmm. I look for Clemson to beat him outright.
Well, I'll tell you what. I like Clemson in this game. I like Clemson and I like over. I look at it this way. I think Clemson against the generous defense of Virginia Tech is going to be able to score in the 30s. And if they score in the 30s and you bet Clemson and you bet the over, you're not going to lose both sides. That guarantees you're going to at least split and maybe you got a shot at both sides.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think
like Clemson.
Yeah, I definitely like Clemson. I like the coach there. And Michael Vick, I think his head might be somewhere else right now.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I really think that's the case.
Okay, especially he's not in the championship game. You know, they were thinking they were number 1 earlier in the year, and it just didn't work out for
Well,
him.
just like you just said, you know, he's thinking today. There was in the paper. He was talking about. He's thinking about going in the draft. His head's not in the
Yeah,
game.
definitely not. Phone number here, 7515786, 7515786. Next game we want to talk about is the Citrus Bowl with Auburn and Michigan. Auburn number 20th in the country, and Michigan coming in number 15. Auburn 9-3 on the year, Michigan 8-3. This is a bowl game that seems to be a big game for Auburn, but you know, Michigan had bigger things in their eyes to start the year. They had the Rose Bowl to look at, possibly a national championship game in the Orange Bowl, and now they got to settle for a Citrus Bowl in Auburn with Rudy Johnson at running back. To me, might be the play of the day tomorrow, plus the 7.5.
Yeah, that's a team I really haven't heard a whole lot about this year is Auburn.
They got a great running back, Rudy Johnson. You watch that game tomorrow. Rudy Johnson for Auburn.
Well, I'll be looking for that one because I'm not really looking into playing Michigan at all.
Michigan is a dangerous team laying more than 7 points. In the last 10 games, Michigan's been a 7-point favorite or more. They've only covered 1 time. So 9 of the last 10 times they've been favored by more than 7 points, they've lost. It's going to be a tough game for Michigan to cover. Ben Leard's played well last few games for Auburn. He was hurt the last time, but the way the bowl situation is now, you got a month in between your last game and your bowl
Everybody
game.
should be healthy.
Yeah, everybody should be healthy. Speaking of Michigan and the Rose Bowl, that's the next thing we want to talk about. Rose Bowl is Purdue, Big Ten champion against Washington from the Pac-10. Purdue was 14th in the country. A little disappointing for Purdue coming in 8-3. Washington, a big surprise though, number 4 in the country, 10-1. They did beat Miami of Florida earlier in the year, right? This is going to be a game involving Drew Brees and Tuiasosopo, 2 of probably the top 5 quarterbacks definitely in the country, maybe 2 of the top 3 or 4 actually.
Yeah, that might even be the game to watch right there.
I mean, and the total in the game, 61.5, it doesn't seem like a very bad total. You know both teams are going to come to score. Both defenses give up a lot of points. And these quarterbacks are going to be playing in great weather. They're going to be playing in Pasadena, California.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful there. I think you're going to see Drew Brees at a showcase for all the NFL scouts to see where he's going. He should be the number 1 pick coming in the draft, and this is his stage right there.
Well, if you look at Purdue's season, they had a couple of disappointing losses. First of all, losing at Notre Dame, and when Notre Dame lost their starting quarterback and used a tight end to play quarterback, I mean that was a sin. I mean they got to come in and they got to beat Notre Dame in that.
You
game.
have to, if you got to go in there and you got to beat them.
Yeah, but being as they are the Big Ten champion, they do go to the Rose Bowl even though they do have an 8-3 record. And I just think this is a situation where both quarterbacks know it's a 2:30 game. It's the game after the 10 o'clock games and before the 5 o'clock
No
game.
weather's going to affect
No.
it. It's going to be beautiful out.
Right.
And it's
Everybody's
going to
be watching.
Perfect setting for it. Should be a real great game.
Yeah, a lot of points. I'm looking for 75, 80 points in this game. Tomorrow, get down early on this game on the over. 61.5, I guarantee you, before the game goes off on
It's
January
64,
1st,
65.
it's going to hit 64, 65 points. Believe me when I tell you.
Yeah,
Get the
definitely.
number now. Okay, next game, the Fiesta Bowl, Tempe, Arizona, also on January 1st. The last game on January 1st to end the new year. Oregon State against the Fighting Irish. Oregon State, wow, what a surprise. Number 6 in the country, 10 wins and 1 loss. Tied for the division championship. Going up against the Fighting Irish, 9-2, who feasibly could be 11-0. They lose in overtime to Nebraska. They lose on a 4th and 30 fluke play with Michigan State with a minute to go in the game.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
But on the other hand, they beat Air Force in overtime. They could have 3 or 4
That's true.
losses.
That's
so that's
true.
the great thing about football. But Notre Dame did make a January 1st bowl game. They deserved to make it. They lost Arnaz battle against Nebraska. They've had 3 quarterbacks this year. They've played great. Their defense lost Grant Irons.
Because a lot of people don't understand. It's like every time I hear, you either love Notre Dame or you hate Notre Dame. The people I come across, and some of the knuckleheads that I talk to that don't like Notre Dame, don't understand. They've played with a freshman quarterback most of the year. They've had 3 quarterbacks. Their starting quarterback was out with the first or second game. He was done.
I'll tell you what, Matt Del Vecchio tomorrow. I don't know what they're thinking of with this game here. First of all, the game opened Oregon State -1. Okay, which I thought was a shock anyway.
Yeah, and I noticed it's 2.5, and right now everywhere it's 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5
And
anywhere
there's
you want
no
to go outside
respect to the Irish, and I love it because
Yeah.
I'm going to get the juice, and I'm going to be laughing at the window, you knuckleheads.
Yeah. Notre Dame, of course, their first big bowl game under Bob Davies, though. Oregon State, Coach Dennis Erickson, he's been to the big game before, Miami of Florida.
Yeah.
He's definitely got a good
This
squad.
is a real test for Notre Dame, but I think Notre Dame it's going to be a big test for them. They will play for Davie. They love this guy.
Yeah.
They're going to lay it all on the field, and you're going to see. I think it's going to be A real surprise for everybody.
well, you know
Notre
what?
Dame's rolling.
What I see in this game, I see this. I see the line moving up for this reason. I think Oregon State's got a good team, real good team, 10-1.
I think they do. Of course they do.
But the underlining little niche to this game here is Notre Dame was going to get into this BCS championship at the expense of Oregon State. Remember, Oregon State was going to be the odd team out.
yeah.
And Oregon State said, the Pac-10 said if Oregon State isn't chosen for a BCS game, that the Pac-10 is going to boycott the BCS from now on. So they ended up playing Oregon State. This game opens 1. This has been the talk of the papers in Eugene and
Oh, yeah.
and the whole state of Oregon. Notre Dame.
This is their
yeah.
Super Bowl
Yeah,
playing
definitely.
Notre Dame.
Definitely Notre Dame.
This is their national championship.
are arguably the most popular or famous college football school in the world, going against Oregon State, a team that was predicted for 5th in their division. So it's going to be a great game. I love Notre Dame. I agree with my brother. I'll take the 3.5, and I'll take the money line. Thank you. Next game we want to talk about is Tuesday, January 2nd, the Sugar Bowl. This is going to be a great game. Miami of Florida and Florida. Miami of Florida -6.5 against Florida. These two teams were on Bourbon Street yesterday. Coincidentally,
heard
ran
about
into
that.
each other. I don't know if you read it in the paper. A few little fights broke out, some barbs. A couple were arrested, but no charges were made. And this is actually the first time that these two teams have met.
In 13 years. I think it's like 13 years since they played, 87.
Yeah, since 1987. They used to play every year. But it's easy to hate somebody when that's all you hear about all year. You play in Florida, and all you're reading in the papers is, well, you're 10-2 and you're ranked 7th in the country, and Miami and Florida State should meet for the national championship. It's hard to be second best, but when you're third best in the state,
Yeah.
that really's got to get you under the skin.
Oh yeah, and it's been a while for Miami to be playing in a game. They arguably can argue themselves to be co-national champions if they win and Florida State wins.
Definitely. Oh yeah, they beat
And
Florida State.
yeah, they beat Florida State.
So-
I mean, here's where you got the crazy bowl thing going on again.
Who wins by
But
more points?
it's been a long time for Miami, and I think they're really getting a taste of this is where we've been. They haven't been there since Erickson.
No.
They're ready to get back in the spotlight and start making noise again.
I'll tell you what, though, Miami looks like the Miami teams you used to see, man. Butch Davis has really got that team playing some great football.
Yeah, he sure is. He's doing a great job there, and they're looking to get him somewhere
Yeah.
else. NFL scouts are looking to get him there.
Watch Santana Moss in that game, the great receiver. Santana Moss are talking about putting him back for kick and punt returns. And, of course, Spurrier, who knows what he's going to do. Grossman or Palmer, who's going to be quarterbacking. He's going to use both of them. There's going to be some fake punts.
There's going to be all kinds of surprises in this game.
If you look at these games here, we've talked the last, talk about all these games. Tennessee and K-State, South Carolina, Ohio State, Clemson, Virginia Tech. All these games we've talked about, Purdue and Washington, Oregon State, Notre Dame, are all great games. They're gonna be all great games.
Yeah, I think, and this is my favorite day of the year.
Oh, man.
It's like just wake up, you get the eggs and bacon going. You got football from sun up till sundown.
Yep. And then you rest the whole next day, and then you got football that night.
That's right. You can make your adjustments and your moves. It's a great thing.
Phone number 751-5786, 751-5786. You got to pick on a bowl game. You want to answer the trivia question Michael just mentioned about the co-national champions. About 10 years ago, there was two teams that were co-national champions. One was AP. The other, I believe, was UPI or Coaches Poll, whatever it was. Anyway, there were two champions. And if you can name both teams, we'll give you a couple Miller Lite T-shirts. If you can name teams and the coaches, we'll throw in a couple hats for you. And the number here is 751-5786. And if you can stump us on a trivia question, we'll give you a T-shirt. You call up with a question of your own, we'll give you a T-shirt. As long as it's something that, normal people would know. I don't want none of this, who won the British weightlifting championship in 1612? Because
This is the wrong show for that one.
751-5786 is the phone number. The big game, Wednesday, January 3rd, Florida State and Oklahoma. And Oklahoma coming in 11-0, Florida State 10-1. The line in this game is still very shocking. Of Florida State, a 12-point favorite. It's still 10.5 at Terriblestown, though, if you want to come down and get the early shopping line.
What a
on
value
Florida
if you
State.
love Florida State.
Yeah,
you
come
go
on
right
down.
to
10.5
Terribles.
at Florida at Terriblestown. Total 56.5. Of course, Oklahoma, one of the top two scoring teams in the nation. Total 56.5 here seems kind of low because you got to figure Florida State is going to have to score, 30 points to win the game, 25, 30 points.
Yeah, this game, I kind of like Oklahoma here.
Oh, I love Oklahoma. I'm not saying they got the wrong favorite in the game, but
No, they
there
definitely
should be
got that's about right where you expect it to be with Florida State playing. They're playing a national championship game every year, it seems like,
Yeah, well,
And this year, of course, like it seems like every other Florida State team, you got a little kind of controversy going on. The offensive coordinator, he took the job of Georgia, okay, and during the week he's doing recruiting, then he's trying to figure out a game plan. I like Oklahoma this game. I think there's too much going on for Florida State.
Well, I think if this game was played 3 weeks prior to the last, 3 weeks before the end of the season, instead of having Oklahoma's last 2 games where they struggled against Oklahoma State, they won by 3 points, and their next game was kind of a struggle. Josh Heupel didn't look too good in either of those 2 games, but they won the game.
But they won the game.
Now, if they erase those 2 games, I think Florida State's probably 3.5 to 4 points in this game. I think those games are everlasting in your mind. I really do.
Yeah, they last for at least 3 to 4 weeks when the ball game comes.
Because Oklahoma could have lost that game. Oklahoma State had a chance to win it at the very end. I mean, they had the ball, and they just ran out of time and downs. But like I say, it's going to be a great game. You got Heupel and you got Winky. Heupel, of course, backed up Winky for the Heisman vote. He's got a lot of stuff to motivate him for this game. National championship. Who's the best quarterback in the country? And my team's better than your team.
Yeah, I love Oklahoma this game.
I love Oklahoma
on
too.
the money line.
And the thing is, believe me when I tell you, if anybody interested in value, if you're going to bet the money line in this game, this Florida State-Oklahoma game, right now the money line is plus $4 at most places. If you want to bet the money line in this game and get your $4, I'd bet it tomorrow. But if you wait, it's going to be $3. It's going to be by game time $2.80 or $2.60. Believe me when I tell you.
Yeah, and when you get something like plus $2.60, when the points is 12, 13, you're not getting a value at all on the money line.
Right.
It's not even worth taking.
Yeah, plus $2.60 or $2.50.
You got to get it early.
Yeah, you're going to really get plus $2.50 is equal to really about 7 points in a college football game. That's how they figure it as far as the money line goes.
Yep.
So basically, if you take $2.50, it's really like only taking 7 points. So I hope I didn't confuse anybody. We're going to go to a break right now. We got a lot of things to talk about with the pros coming up. We're going to look at the Super Bowl odds and also the games for Saturday and Sunday. We'll be right back.
Nevada's only winery, Pahrump Valley Vineyards, produces a unique selection of international award-winning wines, a perfect accompaniment to a memorable meal in their beautifully appointed dining room. Take a tour of the winery and enjoy a wine tasting. Private wine labels are available, and there's a selection of unique gifts for that special occasion. Pahrump Valley Vineyards is located at 3810 Winery Road. Telephone 727-6900.
You'll enjoy luxury living when you call Avco's beautiful chateau home. It's 2,330 square feet of elegance, from the spacious living room to the cozy fireplace and spectacular pool setting. There's 3 bedrooms and 3 1/4 beautiful bathrooms. A spacious kitchen and exquisite oak cabinetry throughout. Call us 727-0209.
Gallery of Home Furnishings, located off Highway 160 in Basin. Have you been waiting on getting the perfect computer or work desk? Well, wait no longer. We have a great selection. At the Gallery of Home Furnishings, receive a free floral arrangement with any dinette purchased. Gallery of Home Furnishings has a great selection of accessories and the largest selection of recliners in the valley. We have Simmons and Spring Air mattresses in stock and ready for same-day delivery. If you have back problems, you will want a Simmons Back Care System, the Gallery of Home Furnishings.
Pahrump has a new transmission shop. It's called Pahrump Transmission. Perham Transmission specializes in all makes and models, foreign and domestic. They work on standard, automatic, electronic, and overdrive transmissions. Perham Transmission is the home of the free road test, free transmission check, free adjustment, and free towing with major repairs. Come in and check out their $17.95 transmission service special. Ask Perham Transmission about their lifetime warranty.
Our housewares department is growing rapidly. We're having a great deal of volume there. We got some killer deals on just about anything you need for your houseware, whether it be a blender, whether it be a toaster, whether it be a coffee maker, whether it be a microwave. We have all those in stock now, and they're coming in droves, getting ready for the winter seasons here. Also, our housewares or our giftware department, that has stuff for your special occasions, your kids' gifts, for the adult gifts. We pretty much have something for everybody here at Ace Home Center. Come by, check it out, see what we got. We've got women's foo-foo stuff, you know, I mean, that really, the stuff, you know, that makes all these guys go crazy, you women love because you like to smell good, and we like for you to smell good. We got that stuff here now. We've got cards, we've got knickknacks, we got all kinds of things. If you need something special for that special person, come down to A. Floyd's Ace Home Center, check it out, see what we got. You'll probably be amazed.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. We want to talk about the Super Bowl odds now. These things are pretty fascinating, some of these odds. If you look at them, Vern can throw them all up. Okay, we got Tennessee at 3-1, the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl, followed by Oakland at 7-2, St. Louis at 4-1, Minnesota 5-1. Giants, who happen to have the best record in the NFC, home field advantage throughout the playoffs, are 8-1, or excuse me, 8-1, followed by Baltimore at 10-1. Tampa Bay at 12, Indy at 15, Denver at 15, Miami at 22, Philadelphia at 30, and New Orleans at 40-1. Now, Michael, as we look at these odds here, we were talking earlier today, it'd be a good bet to bet this team and that team. And well, if you look at some of these teams, basically future betting on Super Bowl, you really don't get value on them. And I'll explain it to you a little like this. You have a team like, let's say, let's take, for instance, you were talking about Philadelphia, 30-1.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think they're a live number with 30-1 because I honestly think that they're going to beat Tampa Bay. I think they will.
Yeah.
You know, and at 31, I think they're a live dog to win it. You know, they're going to advance. I think after this week.
So they'll be in the final 8.
Yeah. So
Well, basically,
instead of being 8-1, they're 30-1.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
well, if you look at if you look at a situation where you have Tennessee, they come in with the best record in the AFC at 13-3. They're going to have home field advantage. They make Tennessee and Oakland basically co-favorites in the AFC. St. Louis and Minnesota in the NFC. St. Louis, of course, has to play all road games, and that's going to be extremely tough. First road game for them is against New Orleans. It'll be the third time they've played them in 6 weeks. They went in there last week and needing a win and some help from Detroit and Chicago's game. They did take care of business 26-21. But I think the situation here is the Rams come into the game against New Orleans knowing that their weapons are there and New Orleans' weapons aren't there.
Yeah, Ricky Williams is not there. Blake's not there. Even though Aaron Brooks has been playing good, the Rams are the favorite. They should be the favorite, and I look for them to really roll it up against New Orleans.
We'll talk about the Rams game shortly. I just want to go through some of these odds here. If you look at Minnesota at 5-1, Minnesota actually has a chance, depending on circumstance, to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Think about it. If the Rams win this week against New Orleans, it's very highly possible
that they go to the Giants.
They go to the Giants.
Beat the Giants.
They've
and
already,
then being a 6th seed, they'd have to travel to the number 2 seed and play Minnesota.
Right. The Giants already this year have beaten the Rams.
Yep.
You know, we don't want to go too far ahead. We just want to give you guys some for instances.
Yeah, because you know what? It's very feasible that the Rams can win this week, and they are favored.
Yeah.
And it is very feasible that I think they could beat the Giants. If there's a team I think that really is overrated, that it just amazes me that they have home field advantage, is the Giants.
Yeah. They're definitely the worst team I've ever seen with home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
I've never seen a team this bad with home field advantage.
And the bookies basically are telling you they have to win 2 playoff games to go to the Super Bowl, both at home, and yet they're the third seed in the NFC. So, I mean, basically looking at that tells you everything you need to know. looking at Miami, they're coming in 22-1. Miami's a team that started out fast and has faded recently, and I think the bookies know Miami really doesn't have enough firepower to match up with the rest of the AFC teams. At home this week in the first round of playoffs against Indianapolis, they're going to come in as an underdog at home. And last year, remember what happened to Miami in the first round of playoffs? You were still living here. I think they lost like 60-something to 7 to Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Remember?
that was Jimmy Johnson's last farewell game, and Marino's too.
Yeah, it looked like a video game. It was like 21-0, 2 minutes
Oh,
in the game.
man.
It was 35-0 in the first
What a way
quarter.
to go out for Marino. yeah.
Wow. Anyway, looking at some of these odds, if you have any opinions on them, 751-5786, 751-5786. Give us a call. Who you like, who you think's a good play, and we'll look at the situation. First game for Saturday, Colts and Dolphins. Oh, we got a caller? Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, you got a caller. It's Ray Mello. How you guys
Hey,
doing?
Ray, I'm sorry. I'm glad it's not long distance. That's all I can tell you.
I see you sent the limo up for Mike, huh?
Yeah, we picked him
Yeah.
up.
Big white limousine picked you up, huh, Mike? From
You bet.
San Francisco, brought you back, huh? Champagne in the back seat.
That's right.
Boy,
I got to come back in style, Ray.
it's great to be rolling in the dough, ain't it?
You bet.
We're gonna park on the corner of Calvada tonight and light a barbecue up if you want to come down.
Yeah, I'll have my infrared scope looking at you
I know
guys.
you will. I'm gonna feel it too. I'm gonna feel it.
Hey, what about this big snowstorm heading back east? I mean, it's all these bowl games, first of all, and most of them are in fair weather climate, right?
Right. Yeah. And the other one's in a dome. You got Miami and the Florida game in a dome. Arizona's, California's, all Florida's. The only problem you have is the Cotton Bowl, and sometimes the weather's always cold, but sometimes you get bad weather in the Cotton Bowl. That's the first game tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
Well, I noticed
Excuse me,
I was
Monday.
watching Aqueduct results, and they said they canceled their next 2 days of racing, which
Mm.
I've never seen before. 2 days in a row, they said we're going to just cancel because they say the snowstorm is going to hit. We won't take any chances. And
Now-
for them to be that extreme, horse racing is, they run in just about anything.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes during the first race or after the first race, they'll cancel a program because the jockeys say it's too precarious.
Right,
But when
definitely.
they cancel 2 days in a row, they're waiting for it, So.
Yeah, I've never seen a racetrack cancel 2 days. They canceled. I really don't even remember them canceling 2 days, and the next, just the next day. Well, they wait till the day of the races to cancel.
That's right.
You
They
know.
wait till all the people are at the track, and then they announce it over the PA
Yeah,
system.
pay
Hey,
for
we're
your
not running
parking,
today.
get around the beers, and go home.
Yeah.
So.
But at least they got inter-track wagering where you could stay at the track and make bets at other tracks so you don't have to go home if you don't want to.
How far east is that going, Ray? Is that going to be near Philly?
Yeah.
So
they
the
were
Bucks are
saying
going to be in some trouble.
between
on,
12 and 18 inches of snow, for the
Wow.
for the whole East Coast, Philadelphia too, and I guess they've got a game at Philly
Yeah.
in the pros,
And that Philly's Tampa Bay is favored in this game, and
Yeah.
I just can't understand why. No respect to Philly. And Tampa's a warm weather team, and they're going
Yeah.
into Philly where it's going to be freezing
I don't know the exact stat. We'll get to it when we get to the game. But Tampa Bay's never won a game
in the cold. They had a
when
chance
it's been
last
below
week.
34 degrees. I think it's like an 0-28 or something like that. That's an unbelievable stat. You'll never see anything like that again.
No.
That's why I watch you guys. You know this stuff, what I
I
mean?
just read it. I know that they stink, but I didn't know they stunk. Man, 0-28, that's
That's
terrible.
pretty bad. You think they can accidentally win one game?
Yeah, how about a team that has 5 turnovers? Can we win that one? But Ray, looking at these odds here, you got any pick on who you would like or who you think has a chance as a long shot or anything?
You mean a Super Bowl or what?
Yeah, Super Bowl.
No, I don't. I wait till the last 2 teams and then I make the bet. That's how I do it. I don't make any because horse racing always has the odds in advance, and all these horses get scratched and you lose, and so I never pick in advance on these futures. This is still basically a future. It's just you're already down to the last few games. See.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of teams eliminated already.
Well, it's a fun bet for most people. They throw
Well,
$10
sure.
down, get a chance to win a couple hundred or something like that.
Yeah, when you
so.
see Miami at 22-1, and you figure, well, maybe I'd like Miami. You got some of your callers that are partial to Miami.
Yeah.
I just, do you think Miami would be there if Marino was quarterback this year?
Oh, I do.
You think so?
I do.
You think
Yeah,
he had
so-
another year in him, huh?
Oh, I think Marino could have played with this team.
Yeah.
I mean, this team, the way Wannstedt ran his offense this year, Jimmy Johnson couldn't get 3 yards on first down if he ran out there with a snowplow. I mean, his teams were 2nd, 11.
Every time. And it's
third
like play
and
calling
8.
was horrible. I mean, Wannstedt just
Yeah.
I mean, Fiedler had a good year, and it's like open up the offense a little. You just got to give the guy a chance to throw the ball.
I think we can use some whiteout on Miami this week.
Yeah,
Get them right off the chart.
Yeah, it'll be ugly early in Miami.
Well, wasn't Marino offered a contract with a different team and he turned it down?
Yeah, the Vikings wanted him.
The Vikings, huh?
Isn't that how funny things turn out?
Yeah.
If they sign him, then Dante Culpepper don't turn into Dante Culpepper.
Yeah.
That's true.
So.
Well, okay, you guys keep up the good work. I'll
Ray,
be watching
appreciate
here.
it.
Thanks for the call, Ray.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, anyway, if I was to make a choice on the team based on the odds that they presented me, I think I would have to lean with Indianapolis at 15-1. I think they're going to go in Saturday and advance past Miami. It's a warm weather stadium, Miami. I think it fits the Colts.
See, Indianapolis is a live 15
Yeah,
to 1
they definitely
team.
are. They definitely
They got
are.
all the weapons to do it.
Oh, man, and they're playing. You know, we're going to get in, like I said, we're going to get to these games, but the way they just wiped out the Vikings, they needed to win the game.
Yeah,
they came and they won the game.
They got Manning, Edgar and James, who led the league in rushing, again, back-to-back seasons.
Yep.
And you got Marvin Harrison. They got all the weapons.
Yeah, definitely. Great team. We got a phone call. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Mr. Foley.
Yes.
It's Richard.
Hey, Rich.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
On these odds, you got like 30-1, 20-1,
Right.
15-1. How come the Raiders have a 7-2?
How come who?
The Raiders.
7-2. That's in between 3-1 and 4-1.
Yeah,
so
they're 3.5 to 1.
it's basically 3.5 to 1. Instead of putting 3.5 to 1, with just 7-2 is how they use it. So in other words, you bet 20, you win 70.
Yep, you bet.
So my bet's still good then because the Raiders are going to take the Super Bowl.
Well, they're going to have to take it.
They're going to have to, yeah.
Well, I know they are.
Raiders are going to have a lot of problems, I think, getting to the Super Bowl. They have home field advantage, but I tell you what, Tennessee, if it comes down to Tennessee and Oakland in Tennessee, I think Tennessee is going to be awfully hard to beat. But you know what? Who knows if Tennessee's going to get there? That's why football's football.
You know, one team you're forgetting about, a team who I had a future on at the beginning of the season at 35 to 1, is the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
What a defense they have.
They got a tough draw, though. They got a tough draw. Their
Yeah,
first
they
game
have a
is
tough
the
draw
Broncos.
with Denver. If they can get by Denver, which
Yeah.
I think they will, but
Mhm.
that's still a tough draw because Denver, I mean, they just got an explosive offense.
Yeah.
When they are healthy and they're playing well, they're really an unstoppable team. Anderson, who fills in for
Davis.
1,400 yards rushing this year.
That not bad for a third stringer behind Davis and Garrett.
Wow.
But he's talking about Baltimore. They're playing Denver. What a tough draw in the first round. You're talking about Mike Shanahan against Baltimore Ravens. You're
Back-to-back Super Bowl team there.
And you got the number one. We'll get to it. The number one offense number one offense in the AFC. Number 2 overall offense, Denver. They can score points. They're number 1 rushing team in the NFL. Brian Greasy listed as questionable. They say he probably will start. They got to protect Greasy. So you're going to look at a team like Denver that's going to probably try and run the ball against Baltimore to keep the pressure off Greasy. And Baltimore's defense is number 1 in the NFL against the rush. And that's why the playoffs are so great.
Yep, this is another season. And
Yep.
this is the second season, and it's the best.
Yep.
I love it.
Thanks for the call, Rich.
Hey, I get looking for your answer. Thanks, Bundle.
Okay, bud.
All right.
Okay, phone number here, 751-5786. Still looking for an answer to that question. Last co-champions in the NCAA. It was around 1990. Need the teams for a couple T-shirts, and if you can name the coaches of the teams, we'll throw in a couple of Miller Lite hats. Okay, 751-5786. We're going to go to the first game on Saturday. Go ahead, caller.
You're on the air, caller.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it the Huskies and who else was it, Marty? Florida
Live TV's
State.
great. Who?
Florida State.
No, it wasn't. Neither one of them.
Oh, okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. First game on Saturday. The Colts and the Dolphins. These teams played a couple weeks ago. Colts last week defeated Minnesota 31-10. The Dolphins, came back against New England 27-24. We got a caller? Yeah, you did. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I believe it was in the Wolverines and Nebraska.
No.
In football in '97, they both took the title.
Well, this is from 1990. This is AP and UP.
No, it has to be from. You said it was.
No,
the last time.
I don't believe 97 is the right answer though. I don't.
Well,
believe...
they were both champions according to NCAA.
Really?
Yeah, Nebraska got the. They were given the trophy, and that was like a big deal about it. Check it out, Bill.
Yeah, I think you're talking. That's the USA though. That's when the USA.
NCAA.
Yeah, you're talking about the USA and the AP. I'm talking about the AP and the UPI back in 1990 when the USA wasn't involved. This is the USA Today paper that you're
Oh, okay.
okay?
Bye.
Right, bye. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, that was when Woodson was playing
Yeah.
for Michigan,
Yeah.
and he's right.
He's right. No, he's right.
He is right.
He's right. He's right. But the one I was talking about was 1990 when the UPI was still involved and the AP.
Yeah.
Since they've gotten rid of the, I believe the UPI moved the USA Today poll in, and it's a totally different situation on how they do all the voting now. The teams we're talking about back in 1990 were Georgia Tech and Colorado.
Yep.
Coaches for Georgia Tech, guy that just left the Lions, Bobby Ross, way back when for Georgia Tech, and a coach for Colorado,
McCarthy.
Neil McCarthy. So the caller was right, and I was right. We're just going to say it's a holiday. We're all right tonight. Back to the Colts and Dolphins. Colts coming, like I said, off a big win, 31-10 against the Vikings. Vikings look pathetic. Dolphins almost dead last week against New England. Come back on 27-24. They were losing 14-3. They dug within themselves, came back, beat New England, a team that a lot of teams come back and beat, but they still did win the game. They're home in this game. Indianapolis opened a 1.5-point favorite. It's now up to 2.5. How do you see the game?
I like the Colts this game. I think the Colts they're going to have to flex that offense. I mean, Mora had a chance last year. They were home against the Titans, and he kind of was real conservative in that game. And I'm sure if you're the owner of the Colts, you're going to remind them. You have Manning back there, and Edgar and James and Harrison. You need to use these guys. I pay them a healthy penny.
Yeah, Manning looked really confident against Minnesota. Well, you know, I don't know if it was because Minnesota's defense is horrible or if he just had confidence. But I mean, that whole team played good. Manning, and you know what changed it during that game? Not to interrupt you, but you know what changed it is they came out with a fast-paced offense. They were running
right off the bat. They were, But the thing I'm wondering about the Colts is they had games this year on the road. They didn't look too good. That's the whole thing. But this is the playoffs. It's the second season.
They did beat Miami on the road a few weeks ago, though.
Yeah.
In Miami, so.
I look for the Colts to win this, and I also like the over in the game.
Yeah,
too.
I like the Colts to score in the high 20s, probably 30 points. I like the Colts in over early Saturday morning. Next game, 1 o'clock game. Rams, lucky to be in the playoffs, needed help on the road from Chicago. 54-yard field goal from the sidewinder, Edinger. And the Bears knocked the Lions out of the playoffs in Detroit. Rams advanced to the playoffs with a victory, which they did, against the Saints. They're back in New Orleans again this weekend. Rams beat New Orleans last week 26-21. And New Orleans played tough. It really didn't seem like they were in the game, but at the very end they were in the game. You know, they had a chance to win it at the very end.
Yeah, that was their game right there to claim that division and say, yes, I am better than the Rams. But as far as like the Lions and the Bear game goes, normally I'd like to see a team win out to get in the playoffs. And I'm just glad that the Lions didn't get in and the Rams did because you know what? The Rams are the better team. They should be in the playoffs, and the Lions shouldn't be in the playoffs. So.
Wow, can you imagine saying, "Wow, I gotta leave work early. The Lions game is on."
The
Lions
Lions
boss
game's
is
on.
fired. That ain't even a good reason to give. The Lions game is on. Are you out of your mind? I'm leaving to go watch the Lions game. That's something you can record, hear the score, and not even watch.
Yep.
The Rams come in number 1 in the NFL passing the ball. Their defense, though, suspect against the pass, number 27 in the NFL. They don't have to worry too much against the pass, I don't think, from Aaron Brooks. This guy, as far their Rams problem, what I'm trying to say is the Rams' problem in the pass isn't the long bomb. It's the inside, the linebackers covering the inside guys. They don't give up very many long plays. The Rams don't.
The one thing the Rams have to do is they definitely got to watch this Brooks guy because he's another two-dimensional quarterback you're seeing nowadays. He's like a McNabb, a Culpepper.
Yeah, his running is ahead of his passing, I think.
Yeah, his running is ahead of his passing, but you got to watch those guys.
He's tough.
They will get the first down. I mean, he had a game against Denver. He threw for 441 yards. And then another game against San Francisco, he rushed for 109 yards. So you really got to watch this guy.
He's had a couple 100-yard rushing games.
He's a weapon out there.
And he came out of nowhere. I think his success has a lot to do with maybe surprising.
I read something. They said his rookie card when he filled in for Blake that game on eBay was like 25 cents. Now it's up to $100. Aaron Brooks' rookie card.
Wow, maybe go down to Fans Hangout and don't tell him how much it's worth. We can get a few of them for a quarter.
Yeah, maybe. He might not catch on already.
The Saints defense was number 1 in the NFL for a while. Now number 10 versus the rush, number 10 versus the pass. Still very consistent. You're talking about 30 teams. They're in the top, third of the league in both categories. You can't ask for more than that.
Oh, the Rams the Saints, they're for real. They have a good team. That defense is carrying them a lot because Ricky Williams has been out and Blake's been out. But, they got guys filling in the roles, and the Haslett's doing a great job there.
Yeah. Well, we talked about 2 games already. If you look at the games, Indianapolis 1.5 against Miami. Well, you know what? I like Indianapolis and over, but you know what? It wouldn't shock me to see Miami win.
No, it wouldn't shock me because I look over, you got the Mora factor
Yeah,
over there.
you
And
gotta-
believe me, he is a factor, that guy is.
He's like a scale, -3, +3, -3. You don't know
You
what
don't
to
know
do.
what to do with him.
And then you got the Rams and Saints. Rams 5.5. I like the Rams.
I like the Rams, and I like the over. I think the
Definitely
Rams
over.
are just going to come out and explode. You know, that
Definitely
team's, it's such a different team.
Definitely over.
With Kurt Warner in there.
Oh, man, that team's dangerous.
Dangerous. And
Yeah.
you got Marshall Faulk. I mean, on turf, this guy's the fastest guy in the league. I've never seen anybody explode. Last time I seen a guy explode like him was Derek Dickerson. This guy does it off the turf. He's just a... He's a
Yeah, I like the Rams, and like you said, this makes it a real Super Bowl chase. With the Lions in there, I mean, that's like throwing a real wild card in. I mean, they got no chance.
It's kind of like when the NCAA tried to ban the Rebels from defending their champions. You know, you got to have the best teams there
Rams
to make
definitely
it
belong
real.
there.
And it's real with the Rams there.
Now talking about the Ram game, I could see the Rams possibly losing to the Saints too.
I could see
mean,
that.
that's what it's all about,
But
man.
that's
They got
what
to
it's
come
all
out and
about.
play.
I'd rather see him playing the Rams instead of the Lions,
Yeah.
okay? Because the Rams are the better team than the Lions.
Definitely. We got the best team in there. Okay, we're going to go to one more break before we get out of here. We still got the Sunday games to talk about, and we want to field some more calls. 751-5786, 751-5786. If you want to call just for a T-shirt, if you don't give me a question, I'll throw a T-shirt for you. We got to get rid of some of these T-shirts. And 751-5786. We'll be right back.
Rick Pete Chrysler Jeep Dodge, Perum's only complete automobile dealership. Your one stop for all vehicles, new and used. Our friendly sales staff is here to assist you in finding just the right car, van, or truck. Our large parts department and professional service technicians will keep your vehicles running smoothly. Whether it's one car or a fleet, see Rick Pete Chrysler Jeep Dodge.
Hello, my name is Feli Kitevis with Precious Properties. I would like to introduce to you my staff. To my right is Robin Bunk. She is a hard worker like me. All of us are hard workers. And to my left is Patrick Kitevis. He's my son. And if you list your properties with Precious Properties, for sure you are dealing with the professionals.
Visit Precious Properties, 2090 South Highway 160. Phone 727-5255.
Bill McKelvey of McKelvey Pools and Spas, serving Nevada for 42 years with no complaints. Build now, be ready for summer this spring. That's right, folks. You can swim this spring in your brand new pool just by calling 873-7401. That's McKelvey Pools. Call now for a free estimate. Bill McKelvey is on your job from beginning to end. He cares about your project and about completing it correctly.
For all your construction needs, big or small, call Ron Murphy Construction, one of Pahrumph's most respected contractors, from septic tank installation to pad development. Roads, driveways, and infrastructure. Ron Murphy Construction has the experience and the expertise to complete your project on time and at a reasonable cost. Ron Murphy knows the Pahrump Valley and wants to take the desert and turn it into a place of beauty, be it home or business development. For more information, call Ron Murphy Construction, 727-6090.
Back to Sports Talk. Phone number 751-5786. The 2 games remaining on Sunday. We have the Broncos and the Ravens at 9:30 in the morning. Last week, the Ravens fell behind the Jets 14-0 and came back like gangbusters.
And there's the defense we're talking about.
Definitely.
They just put the clamps on them, and they showed you why they've given up the least amount of points than any team in the history of football.
Yeah,
They're better than the 85 Bears.
Wow. Yeah, the record they broke, they demolished it by like 3 points, about
touchdowns.
2 points, almost 2 points a game. So it was no fluke that it happened. But the thing you got to consider here, in all fairness to the Bears, is they played the Browns
division,
twice, the
Steelers.
Bengals twice, the Steelers twice, Tennessee twice, and Jackson. They played Jacksonville. Jacksonville got 34 points against them. So
Yeah, but their defense is for real. You seen it last week. The Jets.
Oh, I
did
know,
go-
I agree.
understand, but it's like their defense is there. They're going to keep that offense in the game because Dilfer is not all that. He's an average quarterback, and they need that defense.
Well, the Broncos come in with the most balanced offense in the NFL. Number 3 passing, number 2 rushing. Defense, though, suspect. But you know what? Baltimore doesn't show much offense. Broncos last in the NFL passing the football coming into Baltimore. Now, what's going to win this game? Is it going to be the run or is it going to be pass? I think the team that dictates what they want to do is going to win the game.
Yeah, I think if you're Baltimore, you definitely want to get Jamal Lewis going and keep that ball out of the hands of Greasy and that offense of the Broncos. You want to keep that offense off the field. If somehow the Ravens get down by 2 touchdowns to the Broncos in comparison to the Jets, it's a different ball game.
Definitely. Broncos know how to hold on to the ball. I got a few other things to talk about the game. We got a caller. Go ahead, caller.
Mr. Foley.
Yeah, how's it going, pal?
What quarterback took the Steelers to the Super Bowl in 1975?
Terry Bradshaw.
Not.
I'll say Gilliam.
Was it Joe Gilliam?
Yes, it was.
He won. He played in the Super Bowl?
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
He took 2 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, but I know. But he didn't start in the Super Bowl. Doug Williams was the first black quarterback to start in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I think he did. He started that season for the Steelers, if I'm correct. But I think Bradshaw replaced him like halfway through the season.
Yeah, he didn't play. He didn't start in the Super Bowl. He did play during the Super Bowl years, though.
Yep, your brother's exactly right.
Which one? But
Mr. Professional is exactly right.
I'll tell you what, Rich, come by a sports book. I'll give you a T-shirt for the question.
Okay, thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, the Broncos and Ravens. We were talking about the Broncos 31st against the pass, but the Ravens defense, first of all, number 1 rushing defense is going to be going against Mike Anderson, and probably the best running game in the NFL. Look, they got Gary, they got Davis, and they got Anderson, and every one of them can run.
Yeah, that whole offense, it's like irreplaceable parts. When you take Davis out, you put Anderson in, you really don't miss a beat.
No.
That offense is really explosive offense, and there's the test for the Ravens. You can say what you want about the Steelers, the Bengals, and all them teams in that division.
Oh yeah,
there's the test this week, and this is the test. If they get by it, watch out for.
Well, I guarantee it, they might get by it, but they're not limiting Denver to 7 points or 9 points. Denver's scoring 20.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Look at the total where it dictates you right there, 41.5.
Then that means Baltimore might get 21 then. Denver's getting at least 20. And let me tell you something about the running back, Mike Anderson. Mike Anderson, if you watch the game, Mike Anderson runs with some ammunition, man.
Yeah, he sure does, and he puts his shoulder, and he hits you with impact. He's like a cornerback with the ball. He explodes when he's getting hit. He hits you.
Background in this Mike Anderson is he was a Marine. He got talked into going and playing some JC, junior college, transferred up to Utah, played, I believe, 1 or 2 years with Utah. Was never even played football until a couple of years ago. He's 27 years old, and this guy hits the hole as good as anybody. He just explodes.
You know, it's like if you put Davis's number on him, it looks like Terrell Davis.
And he's strong, and he carries you. And I'm telling you what, that's going to be the best game that day for sure. The Rams and Saints, I think, and the Broncos and Ravens are going to be 2 best games of this weekend.
Yeah, because you got the number 1 defense of all time playing against an offense like the Broncos. That is a test for them, and it should be a great game.
Definitely. I tell you what, I think we got the best playoffs possible. I think the best teams are in there. The only one I think is a good team that didn't make the playoffs was Jacksonville.
I think you just hit it on the head. You really got it's a great playoffs here.
Yeah.
You really don't have a bad
deserves
team.
it.
I think the Buccaneer Eagle game, every game is a good game.
Well, that game, Ray Mallow called earlier about the weather. Baltimore, really not in the East, but still, it's always bad weather in Baltimore. It's going to be cold. But Denver's used to the cold, so it's going to be a great game. Go ahead. We got a caller? Go ahead, caller.
Caller, you're on there.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, you, Minister?
Vern, that was another friend of yours, wasn't it? Okay. The second game on Sunday, the Bucks and the Eagles. Bucks come in. Wow, could have had a first-round bye last week. Gramatica misses the field goal against Green Bay. Short field goal, I think 30 yards, somewhere in that area. End up losing in Green Bay 17-14. The Eagles last week end the season with a victory against Cincinnati 16-7. They didn't look great, but they got the job done. But I wonder how much that's got to affect Tampa Bay with Gramatica missing that field goal. Not only do they miss home field and a bye, but
that was a huge
now
game.
They're in Philly.
Yeah, that changes everything.
Wow.
Home field and a bye, and now you get to go back in the cold.
Right.
In Philly.
Right. You're going on the road next week too.
Yep. And Donovan McNabb is going to be running wild, and it's going to be a long day for the Bucks.
This year, the Super Bowl will be held in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was looking to be the first team to ever be home for the Super Bowl, and to do that, they're going to have to win in Philly, and they're going to have to win either in St. Louis or Minnesota. And if they do that, then they're going to have to win in either New York or New Orleans. They're going to have to win away probably all 3 games.
I don't see it happening now.
No.
Now with the quarterback like King, now you look at the Rams on the road. That's a different story.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I'll tell you what. We got the Bucks and the Eagles. Bucks -1.5 on the road. I think this line is way out of whack. I can't believe Tampa Bay is a favorite in this game.
I just don't know where you're coming
Yeah.
from with this line. I mean, here you got a team that can't play in cold
No,
weather. I mean,
cannot.
last week you really got to have the mind. They really got to be really psyched out because that's a burden to them, and they know that everybody's thinking that you can't win in the cold.
And what about the turf at Philly? Worst turf in the NFL.
Yeah, you're going to see guys dropping dead out there.
Yeah, worst turf in the NFL.
Worst turf.
To throw a little wrinkle in how bad Tampa Bay is in weather situations, I said earlier, I don't know the exact number. It's somewhere around 0-25, 0-26 in games to where the weather is.
It's like minus 32 degrees.
No, it's 34. It's 34 degrees or lower.
Yeah, 34 or lower. They haven't won a game.
Right.
Like 0-25, like you said.
Now, earlier in the year, Tampa Bay was home against the Jets in a game. It was raining. It was bad weather. And they got, I think, 7 points.
Yeah, Jets beat them.
Yeah, until the last minute of the game, they scored two freak plays, and the Jets ended up pulling out. But Tampa Bay couldn't move the ball. They couldn't do anything in the weather. I think Tampa Bay's offensive scheme needs to be adjusted to play in bad weather. You got to be able to throw the ball in bad weather.
Yeah, and Sean King, he's not their answer.
No.
You know, he can move around, but that's about it.
Yeah, he was
can't
good
move
at
the ball.
Tulane.
Yeah, he was good at Tulane, and that's it.
Look for Tampa Bay. They're high in this King, but I don't see it. So I like Philadelphia to advance in this game.
Oh, I definitely think Philadelphia advances. And this goes to what I was telling you, at 30-1. It's a live number for a team that I think's 1 game's out of the way this weekend. They're beating the Bucks.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. This line, we said we don't know how Tampa Bay's the favorite at 1.5. It was 2.5 when I left work today, and it's now up to 3 in a lot of books.
Oh, man.
So right now, Tampa Bay -3 in almost every sports book in Nevada. And Philadelphia, good home dog. You're talking plus $1.30 on the money line if you don't want the points. You go to Philly, you don't only have to endure the weather, the field,
the fans,
and you know, just the whole aura of being, you know, they're nasty out there.
Yeah, and they know about the turf too.
Yeah.
That's going to be in their heads.
Yeah, and
Eagles play on it. They practice on it. It's cold. They're there.
They had 9 season-ending injuries on that turf this year in only 8 games. So these people lost for the season with injuries on that turf. Phone number here 7515786. We just have a few minutes to wrap up here. Looking at the Super Bowl odds, we talked about a few teams. What do you think about the Giants now? 8-1 for a team, basically that's got just to win 2 games at home.
What does that tell you? You're 8.
Yeah.
8-1.
8-1. Yeah.
You got home field advantage.
Right.
You stink.
Yeah. What is the problem? I mean, what is that? That tells you everything.
It's the worst It's the worst team I've ever seen with home field advantage. I still can't believe it. This is the same team when I was up in Reno 4 or 5 weeks ago. I had them at home against Detroit, and Detroit was up 28-7 or something like that. It was ridiculous.
The situation here is Kerry Collins. His confidence is up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah,
you rush him early, and I think you set the tone for the whole game.
Yeah, no doubt. You put pressure on him. He's a shaky quarterback out there. Look, even though he's having his best year he's ever had.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed with him. I'm not impressed with that team. And
neither am I.
I don't see him advancing at all.
Looking at some of these teams now, okay, what team could you say would be a sleeper? Now, forget Tennessee and forget Tennessee. They're 3-1. They got home field advantage. I really expect Tennessee to at least win the first game and get to the AFC Championship.
They got a better chance getting to the Super Bowl this year than they did last year. So.
And they went last year. I got to look at a team like I got to look at a team like Denver, 15-1, team that's won a couple Super Bowls.
Yeah, because that's a team. As long as you got offense, you're never out of the game. And they have offense. They can always come back. I mean, against the Chargers, they were down big and they came back and beat them.
Right.
It's never over when the Broncos are playing. And no doubt, 15-1. That's definitely a live team right there.
Well, feasibly, if you look at it, Denver, if they beat Baltimore on the road, okay, and somehow you have the division winner. Miami won the division, right? 11-5.
Yeah.
You have the Colts beat Miami.
Yeah.
Very possible.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you have just one more here for if you have Oakland lose their first round game, whoever they play, and it's going to be a tough team. It's going to be Indianapolis or it's going to be Denver, whoever they play.
Oakland's got their hands full.
Then
They've
Denver's
shown
got
that-
home
they've
field
shown
in the
that they
AFC
can't
Championship
beat
game.
Denver. They've shown you that. They
Oh,
can't
I
beat
know.
Denver.
I know that.
So
0-2.
and they've looked shaky the last 3 or 4. And I like Oakland,
Yeah.
going into the last 4 or 5 games of the season, and just they're not stable.
No.
They've fallen into the old Raiders.
And the Vikings, a team starting out so strong early in the year, has just totally collapsed again. One thing that they do have going for them, Dwayne Rudd, their linebacker, will be back. The first game he missed was against the Rams.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Marshall Faulk made that team look sick with his little curls in the line, right where Dwayne Rudd normally plays, linebacker. He's one of the best linebackers in the NFL, very fast, wears number 57. He was a big loss for Minnesota. He's going to be back, and they're talking about possibly Orlando Thomas coming back, their safety. He broke his shoulder blade about 10 weeks ago, and he's possibly coming back. So, if they can get some help back on defense, Minnesota has a chance. But right now, it's so wide open. I mean, if you had a pool right now and you had to pick these 16 teams out of a hat, almost, outside of maybe, Philly and Miami, even New Orleans, I guess those teams probably have the least chance to win a Super Bowl. But at least you have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a chance to win. New Orleans, a live home dog at 5.5. Really, it's a toss-up. Wake up the next day, it wouldn't shock me either way.
Yeah, you really got a good playoff format.
Yeah.
You got the best teams there this year, no doubt about it. Every team, really, they do
Right.
have somewhat of a
Right.
chance,
And these are the best Saturdays and Sundays this week and next week that you could possibly have for a football fan. You're going to have playoff football on Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon.
Then you got Nebraska and Northwestern tomorrow night.
Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon.
And then you got
Sunday night, you're going to have
Texas A&M, I think, right?
No, the Nebraska Northwestern game Sunday night. Or excuse me, yeah, Sunday night is Texas A&M. And then next week, Saturday and Sunday, you got 2 games, morning, 9:30 and 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
so you're going to
listen-
have NFL playoff football for the next 2 weeks, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hey, it comes down to this: you win or you're
Wow.
going home.
Do or die. I want to thank everybody for your calls. Please get some questions ready for next week, 751-5786. We're going to have the playoffs to talk about next week. These teams that advanced, we're going to have the brackets together and pretty much put a format of what happens if this happens and that happens. You'll see who's going to be playing each other in the Super Bowl.
Who's your Super Bowl prediction? What is it? What's the game? Who's winning?
Vikings and Titans in the Super Bowl.
Vikings and Titans, huh? I think it's Vikings and Ravens.
Yeah. Actually, I'm rooting for the Vikings and Broncos. I'm changing to the Vikings and Broncos.
They got to get over the Rams, though.
No,
that's
I'm
Vikings
changing
got to
it.
get over the Rams, and that's going to be tough.
I'm changing it. The Vikings and Colts.
You know what? I'm changing. I kind of like the Titans and the Eagles.
Anyway, anybody's game. So that's the best part about the NFL. Anybody can win the Super Bowl this year. Like I said, we appreciate your phone calls. We here at Channel 41 and on Sports Talk want to wish everybody out there a happy and a safe New Year. And make sure you give your kids a hug tonight. We'll see you at Teeters on vacation.
See you guys.
Bye.
Welcome to Odyssey Garden and Greek Decor, located at 20...
Introducing to Pahrump, Thomas Blinds and Window Designs. Thomas Blinds is a full-service window covering company offering blinds, shutters, valances, soft treatments, draperies, solar screens, and window tinting. With Thomas Blinds, you can count on us for national name brands, expert installation, and great prices. For your convenience, call Thomas Blinds for a free estimate, 727-1114.
Ladies, I found the perfect place for you. Need a different gift for the special someone? Want the special touch of yours in a new gift? Want the special someone to remember you always? Show them your feelings with your new gift. Make them remember this Christmas forever. Head on down to Wanda's Gift Shop, located at 520 Southeast Street. Wanda's Gift Shop, where you'll find that perfect gift for that special someone.